Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. 100 days after Gotham fell, Batman, he came back to the city. He started getting things in order. He found out that someone was taking up the cause of the bat, his symbol. He was happy to see that someone else took an interest in fighting crime in the city, especially after the government decided to abandon it. He went to GCPD and found James Gordon, informing the man about the situation in the outside world. And it was quite a surprise to Gordon. Izuku Midoriya, the rich billionaire playboy philanthropist, he is attempting to try and not only be reinvested in his city after coming back to his home, he has tried making appeals to the government. Gotham is a cesspool of violence. It was heavily affected by the earthquake and needs government aid. But everywhere else has also been affected by the earthquake. Other towns and cities were hit by tsunamis. Other places have a lot going down. Villains started running rampant in other cities too. They're swamped. Gotham, it's the largest place with the most amount of crime. They tried their best, and it didn't work out. The government abandoned Gotham, but Izuku Midoriya did not. It's going to cost him quite a bit of money and may look like a publicity stunt to some people, but he is dropping in aid to Gotham. Supplies and ammunition for GCPD, rubber rounds and shotgun slugs that should be able to help. Beanbag rounds. Anyways, now, this does mean quite a bit. That was his first stop. He also decided to meet the vigilante heroes who stayed in Gotham or have come to try and help with aid. And it was rather interesting. He ran into Mirako, and Mirako was quite interested about another fight. Since he fought dirty, she wanted a rematch and immediately collapsed to the floor whenever Deku used an ancient Tibetan technique. And he then left, going over to talk to the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, who has been making quite a bit of money selling and exchanging food for valuable objects in Gotham. Now, he ran a bit of a fight club, made things simple, but whenever Batman did arrive, he was highly alarmed. And he tried to make a bit of a deal, face off against his biggest fighter, and, well, things can be easy. He will hand out food or will shut down the club. It ultimately does depend. It's a wager. And Batman found himself standing before a hired mercenary. Tubes running up and down his arms, leading to the back of his neck. He was wearing a sumo mask and got larger when venom was pumping through his veins. Bane has been waiting for Batman's arrival. And this certainly is quite a battle that he has been waiting for. Now, they do currently stand on stage. A number of Gotham civilians, they do go to watch on. Even some of Penguin's own guys do begin to back away. Bane is hardcore. The guy is crazy and insane. They've seen him throw a man over his knee to break his back. Hell, the guy's barely enhanced, and he takes venom. That shit can make you loopy. We've seen what it does to people. And then there's Batman. Right now, Deku, he's going over multiple plans in his own mind. If the guy's really taking Venom, that does give him some leeway, some opportunity. Trigger is a bit more hard to deal with, a bit more tricky. It isn't easy. There are major differences. Right now, Bane bum rushing Batman, and he does drop smoke pellets. Right now, trying to throw his mind into overdrive, going over a number of things in his brain, stepping backwards and moving away. Venom, it can do quite a bit. Bane, moving slow as the smoke, does begin to build around the entire stage. Trigger does have that initial high, and it does boost the power of a quirk. He's heard of the effects it can have on people, and it can be best described as a combat stimulant. But then there's Venom. Venom is a temporary super strength. It does have its own limits. A man his size taking Venom, well, he'd probably be stronger than a man Bane's size. And a man Bane's size taking Venom might as well be a 20-foot tall monster. And that idea, it does make him somewhat shudder. But if he does have strength bigger than that, muscle density is up, bone tissue is up, blood dilation is high, blood pressure, yeah, all that stuff moving through him dodging and weaving through the smoke, it does mean quite a bit. Though he does have a few ideas for how to take this guy down. If he can, then he'll come in strong, come in quick and fast. And that is probably the best idea. Right now, the smoke dispersing around him, as Batman, he does still stand there. His cape wrapped around him as he does look just like a black silhouette, though he does have a man's lower face poking from his mask. And that, it does surprise them. He hasn't moved. And he does a step forwards, pulling free electric knuckles. And he does just stare at Bane, bringing them up and going to rush forwards. And when he does do so, Bane does a charge, him roaring out with a monstrous grin as he does almost have a mountain of foam coming out of his mouth. And Batman does a slide under Bane, throwing his fist out and smashing them both into his ankles. Before he does feel Bane roar out from pain from the charge, and he does that turn around. Bane turning and swinging out a wild fist, him ducking underneath and going to begin working on one of his knees. Him seeing a left-right combo directly into one. Bane bring down an arm, trying to crash down, cracking through the stage. Him going to turn and move, throwing out his foot hard and kicking into Bane's other knee. And when he does do so, Bane does a drop down forwards as he does throw out a wild amount of his arm. Deku being struck by it and sent flying through the air. And he does a flip. Right now him landing on a wall as he does begin to slide down. And when people do to see that, they do watch him fall and land. Right now him still standing there, thinking about exactly what to do. Come on, Batman. I've expected you for a long time. That's why I came to this location. This place. I wanted a fight. You took down the rabbit. I want to break you. Now, is this going to be a fight or a show? Him going to think. Okay, so far so good. Then again, maybe he should spice things up a bit. Going to reconnect one of his knuckles directly to his belt. It going to magnetize as he does go to reach for different pellets. Right now, him going to rush forwards as he does a turn, throwing down his left leg and going to throw a handful of pellets. Bane going to bring his hands up to swat them through the air. Though the moment they do to make contact, they do to explode. him staggering backwards as Deku does come running forwards. And when he does go to do so, Bane does a swing out a wild left hook. Him going to be quite alarmed whenever he does feel something stab directly into his arm. Batman sliding underneath him as there is where he does have a rope in hand, beginning to pull backwards as he does a turn, throwing out his left leg, and going to throw out his left hand, throwing something directly at the back of Bane's leg. And whenever it does go to explode, the foam does begin to form. Bane quite alarmed as Deku does come running forwards, him throwing his full force into the back of Bane's calf. And Bane does collapse forwards as the foam does continue to expand and stick to him. Him quite annoyed as he does go to stand back up. Right now, him ripping and tearing parts of the back of his pant leg, but that foam does still stick. And when he does get a turn to attack the Batman, he is quite surprised whenever he does be met by someone's fist to his face. Batman climbed up his back, him turning and reaching out. The man trying to retreat as he does reach out and grab the cape. Whenever he does to pull Batman over, there is where Deku, he does go to disconnect the cape and fly backwards to the air. Right now him a little wild before he does smash into the wall and fall. Going to fall down a couple more feet, standing back up and staring at Bane. And Bane, he does it a grin. Going to try and step forwards, but finding his leg is immobilized. And that is what he was hoping for. That is what he wanted. Good. Now then, him bringing up the batarangs and throwing them out. Him throwing two directly towards Bane's face. And Bane, he does bring up his arms to block. Right now them stabbing into the back of his forearms as Deku does think about it. Venom enhances a human's physical body, physical capabilities. He can still bleed, he can still feel pain. That's good. He can use that. Though he blocked his face. Protecting his eyes? Good. Maybe he can handle that then. But some quirks are tricky. Venom is unpredictable, hard to understand. People can build tolerance to it, just like trigger or any other type of drug. So, what can that do? Bane going to turn and throw down his fist. Deku, staggering backwards to the stage, does nearly collapse. Right now him going to leap upwards into the air as Bane does go to throw his hand out and grab Batman by the leg, turning and throwing him towards the ground hard. As he is sent flying into the crowd, crashing onto the concrete floor. And Bane does go to step forwards and begin to follow. The crowd dispersing around Batman as he does go to stand onto one of his legs and get ready. Right now Bane going to come out forwards. And he does watch Batman bolt forwards and charge. Him coming straight at him. And he does going to bring up his hands, getting ready to reach out and grab the bat. Though Batman does slide underneath, bring up a batarang and slicing into his arm, before he does go to jump upwards and with both hands thrust the batarang upwards into his elbow. And he does a roll in pain. Right now, Batman, he does go to spin his leg around and climb onto the side. Him sitting on his arm as if it was a horse. And when Bane does bring his hand up, he does go to smash down into his forearm a little hard. Right now, Deku, he does go to slide forwards. And Bane does turn his hand, attempting to grab onto Batman. Though Batman does leave quite a surprise. Him going to leap backwards and off of the man's palm. Him nearly catching his boot as he does a turn and kick Bane in the face. Bane, he does take the kick. Before he does go to open his eyes and not see Batman. The man is nowhere to be seen. Before he does hear a whistle and he does a turn. Right now, expecting Penguin to say something. And something does come flying towards him. Quite surprised as a batarang, it does go to strike him directly in the side of the face. him staggering backwards and roaring out in pain. Before he does start cursing out Batman, talking about how they should be playing this mano a mano, man to man, fair to fair, and that it does annoy the man. Before he does start to look around, not seeing Batman. Where the hell did he go? He's hiding. The room's dark. The shadows. Him turning and looking up, expecting Batman to be there. And whenever he does get a look up, he does get to watch something fly down towards him. A flashbang going off. Before there is where Batman does come down. Him rocketing down with all the force he can, kicking Bane directly in the chest. And when he does do so, he does go to fall as Bane does a stagger, landing on his feet and running forwards, going to throw out what he can directly down into Bane's other leg, letting a full force punch out with his knuckles. And he does watch Bane as he does throw an arm down at Deku. And Deku, he does go to pull back and go to throw out the foam. Right now the pellets exploding around Bane's hand and sticking him to the ground. Bane going to try and blink away this concussion, the ringing in his ears. He can't see and he can't hear. Though, Batman does a step forwards, right now slashing the tube directly connected to his hand. And when that does happen, Bane does begin to feel a loss in strength, well aware that that fluid is being pulled out of his body. And he does roar out and begin to throw out his hand, trying to hop forwards as he's to pull up his fist hard and pull the concrete out with it, beginning to throw his hands around. And Batman does yell to the crowd to run. Some people, they already got back, but right now, Bane is making his way towards a group of people. Him bring up his battering and going to fire, or bring up his grappling hook and going to fire. As whenever does it wrap around Bane's arm, Bane does go to turn. Right now, him tugging on the line as he does want to make his way back towards the crowd. And this does annoy him. Bane going to wait. And Batman does continue to pull hard, pulling more and more. And Bane, he does a turn, grabbing the cord and pulling. Batman coming flying through the air as Bane does throw a punch, sending Batman careening to the ground, rolling across the floor and spitting blood. And when that does happen, Bane does continue to blink. Right now, the stars in his vision have gone away. He can see, but they're a bit annoying. They're still there. But seeing Batman laid out there in front of him does make him feel better. Him shrinking just a bit more and feeling his venom supply run dry. It's rather annoying. It's rather aggravating. He does like the effects of his venom. And with this much gone, it's going to be quite tedious to get more. Though Penguin does a grin, quite happy that the Dark Knight has been taken down. The city's Dark Protector, a man who he doesn't like to say it, he does fear. And it does mean a bit. And Bane does move forwards. Him coming towards Batman ready and waiting. Before he does go to bend down forwards and reach out towards Batman. And Batman, he does go to quickly move, throwing his leg out and kicking Bane in one of his ears, punching down with his fist in another. And when he does go to stagger backwards and away, Deku does quickly turn and roll, getting to his feet and rushing Bane. Right now, using his taser knuckles directly in his chest. And when Bane does go to reach out grabbing his hands, he does to grab Batman by his wrist, trying to pull him overhead and throw him. But Batman does do one thing. he does throw out a knee and kick down into Bane's jaw. Him going to begin to do one simple thing. He does gonna throw his knee out, smashing into Bane's knee and turning. And Bane, he does go to be surprised over Batman, does pull one of the teachers away and go to turn. Him going to throw his right fist out, smashing into Bane's elbow. Him going to let go and release. And Batman does take the opportunity, throwing his left hand down, smashing into Bane's leg. And Bane's knee does get a dislocate. Him toppling like a sack of potatoes and falling to the ground, as is a royal in pain. And Batman, he does go to pull back as Bane does try to reach out for him, roaring out in anger. And Batman does a step forwards. Right now, going to bring up his knuckles and smash Bane across the face, telling him to yield. And the man does stare at Batman, bringing his hands up and trying to defend himself. And the Penguin does watch on, bewildered, surprised. As Bane, he does try to fight. He does try to get on his disabled leg, the one that can hardly move. Hell, he can barely hop. But Batman, he just pushes him back, punching. And he does go to finally knock Bane to the ground when he does get back up again. Him going to step forwards and throw Bane's body to the floor, throwing down his foot and smashing it to Bane's throat. Bring up his right hand and going to turn it. And Bane is wrote in pain. Do you yield? No. You're going to have to. Him breaking the arm. And Bane does roar out more. Batman turning his elbow and going to break it again. And he does go stare down. Right now, Bane has not yielded. So, breaking his wrist, and then beginning to make his way towards the fingers. Grabbing his hand and beginning to break his thumb. And after he does break Bane's thumb, Bane does roar out about how he yields. And Batman, he does go to drop Bane's arm as he does a turn to Oswald, before turning back to Bane, well aware about what everyone is thinking. They just watched him fight this man. And Bane, trained mercenary. A man who takes venom. Cobblepot enforcer. Killer. Murderer. And a trained fighter. Cobblepot might try and sick more people on him. So, that's bad. Though there's Bane. Brutality. That's the world everyone lives in. Gotham. It's a city where the criminals don't have fear. He was already aware he wanted people to be afraid of him, but he wanted to protect people as well. The only way to do that is to have criminals fear him. And from the look some of those people are giving him, that look Mr. Cobblepot has in his eyes, that's what he wants to see. The man's hands are shaking. He's gripping that umbrella rather tightly. That's good. He wants them to hesitate. He wants them to be afraid of him, as much as he doesn't like it. Batman will have to be the Dark Protector. Not just something in the shadows that criminals will have to be afraid of. Not just a boogeyman. And that, it is where Deku does go to walk to Bane's leg and go to throw down a powerful kick. Bane roaring out in pain as his thigh does give him a screaming alert. And the man, he does continue to wail like a pig to slaughter, roaring out devastatingly. And he does that turn, telling Bane, he just broke his femur. Right now, that is a message. Turning to the criminals. We had a deal, Cobblepot. Keep your end. Me and my associates would rather not have to get more violent. Or is that what you want today? Today, it's this. You're a businessman, man of your word. So keep your word. Do as we agreed to. If I have to come back here, things are going to be a lot more violent. We're leaving. Him saying up to the rafters, making a show of it. And he does reach out and grabs thing on his belt, as the lights in the building do shut off. And Oswald, he does go to roar out talking about it. Find him. Please, someone turn back on the light. Keep on guard. He's around here somewhere. And the rest of the lights do turn back on. Batman gone. And Oswald, he does stare on, bewildered. How in the fuck did he do that? And this is where Batman, he does leave. His cape gone. And whenever someone does point out about the thing that was right next to them gone, it does make them question it. He covered distance. He was standing right behind Oswald. He could have attacked him in the dark, and he wouldn't even have known it. Some people, they do look afraid, but the civilians, they do begin an uproar. And it does mean quite a bit. Oswald made a deal with Batman. And right now, he does go to gnash his teeth trying to figure it out. Batman broke into his office once. He'd rather avoid that for now. He'd rather not have to deal with an angry mob either. And he does that turn, giving orders to his men to begin to let people have food. Give some of them a warm meal. And they do go to follow. Right now, a massive bat being painted on the building. As someone, they do go to express. How did he know? You're not as stealthy as you think you are. It was obvious. Really? And who said that? I did. I knew you were there whenever we were on stage. You're not quiet. You're surprising. Am I? Yes, you are. Matter of the fact is, I didn't expect to be caught. We have work to do. You're injured. Him going to cough. When he does that do so, he does that turn, going to spit blood over the side of the building. And the woman does a step forwards. I want to work with you. But if you collapse, things will get bad. What you did down there? You terrified people. I terrified criminals. Got it. Is that your goal? My goal is to keep the city safe. Now, if that's all your concerns, I'll be going. I tried the phone. What'd you do with it? I tried calling you. I was busy. I see. You have to get your wounds treated. Deku going to turn. Going to open his mouth, but deciding not to. Tactically, that's the right choice. And his heads-up display in his visor, it does still have that timer in the corner he sent. He needs that. It does still have that display in the corner with a timer on it, showing him that he's a little overdue for some sleep. And he does it a nod, expressing. Right now he can treat himself. But does she have a safe place to stay? Does she have food? I do. I'll get by. No, you won't. I have a headquarters. Come on. Him turning to leave. And she does watch as Batman does make his way rooftop to rooftop. His cape aflutter behind him. And she does it a follow, trying to keep trace with the man. And it's rather alarming, especially when he does a jump off of a building and glide through the air with his cape. Her surprised, though she does attempt to do the same thing. It is a little bit more challenging, and there is even where Batman does have to turn and wait for her. Her catching back up as he does tell her. Her material is too light. I know. Sorry. Did you just... Whatever. Listen, I couldn't exactly copy your setup, your getup. I'm aware. Listen, it's a lot harder than you think. Where are we going? Him turning and expressing. Right now, there's a lot they need to handle, but they need some rest. He has food, water, and a safe location. And right now, he's willing to tell her where it is, in case she does ever need it. Gotham is a wreck, and safe houses are in demand. This one he can guarantee no one is at. Her nodding her head, as she does go to watch Batman begin to make his way towards Arkham Asylum. And she is quite alarmed when they do enter a secret passageway. Right now, it is a long and lengthy process, but they do eventually come out into a place underneath the building. And Batman, he does have quite a few things set up here. He does have a bed, he does have a laptop, and from what she can tell, he does have resources. Right now, there is even wood for a fire, and I mean, shit. There's purified water. I mean, not just that, but, well, she's assuming that bucket's for washing, not for pissing in. Then again, the mental image of Batman pissing in a bucket, it does make them somewhat laugh. Right now, them letting out a small laugh as Batman does a turn with a stone-faced expression to her. What? Nothing. Your piss bucket? No. That is my wash bucket. Ah. Lot of blood? Yes. Her going to nod. And he does walk over to the computer and go to plug in a USB. Right now, going to inform her, as a lot of things do begin to pop up. Right now, take a look at this. It's information he's gotten from surveillance. And they can then proceed further. Him walking away. Her stepping over and looking at a lot of different things. And she does begin to study the map. I mean, this is a full map of Gotham. Not just that, but it's color-coded, labeled green, reds, yellows, and it's even got infrastructure, districts, all of it. Places where the quake most affected everything and where it didn't. Places that are relatively still standing and, well, her reaching out. Don't touch. Her recoiling back her hand. And she has a look over her shoulder. Right now, her staring at Batman, who currently doesn't have a shirt on. And he does have something in his hand, expressing to her, "Don't. It took a lot of time to get everything set up that way. Wait for him. You're injured. I know." Him going to examine himself, talking about it. "It's not that bad. Just bruising so far. And from what he can see, everything's in order. Everything's in place. Just his knuckles are hurt." Then again, her still watching him wrap his torso very quickly, and at least wrap an ice pack to his own ribs. Him coming back over, sitting back down, still wearing his cowl. And that does surprise her. This is Batman. I mean, she knew he'd look like a brick shithouse under the suit, but Jesus Christ. Something the matter? No. You're not what I was expecting. I don't care. Listen. It's Gotham. You have Bloodloot Haven over here. You have Uptown, Downtown, and Newtown. There are a lot of places in Gotham that have been affected. So far, Arkham Asylum does show it was affected. It was the least. That's why we're here. And it is relatively hard to get to. It isn't easy. The water's toxic. Yes. And there are tunnels, which come here from the mainland. As I said, it isn't easy to get here. A secure location if you know the way, if you know the path. Now, the GCPD, they have a number of pros. Some have gone rogue. I'm working with them now. I thought you said you work alone. These are extreme circumstances. Now, do I need to give you context to that? When I say I work alone, I meant as myself. I don't run around wearing someone else's symbol. Do you understand me? Her nodding her head. Deku unable to see her face. And he does inform her. Now, this has mean a number of things. He has yet to meet the secondary team, but he's hoping that they can deal with some things, at least up here. Pointing a few things out. The team can handle the island. We can handle this location here. And hopefully, the secondary team can handle another island. We're hoping to at least do something. GCPD, they are expecting a supply drop. When? When I say the word. The billionaire in question is dropping supplies. I have a beacon to send a signal. Once that's done, GCPD should get that. Then it's only a matter of time before other people realize someone is funding the cops. Afterwards, we have to figure things out there. Citizens are already concerned about their own safety. People will prioritize themselves over anyone else. It's how some people are natured. Sometimes there's bad, but there's plenty of good. I never said there wasn't. But there's going to be plenty of people who, once they realize the cops are getting funded by someone, they're going to flock to them. Food, ammunition, and water. Right now, safety is their main priority. The police will have to set up a barricade. Something more to protect oncoming gangs. Someone in the police force is already killed. And that is sent a message. Right now, they believe the cops still have ammunition. With the supply drops in tow, we want them to believe that. We want them to understand that even if they try to use their powers, it's not going to get them very far. Is it not? It won't. because we won't allow it. Now, if you can track down any information on the villains at large, inform me. Call me. I'm currently tracking down the Joker. What about the Penguin? We've handled him. No, we haven't. What do you expect me to do? Kill him? I thought you would. I don't. I've got some rules. Do you? Yes, I do. There's a code I will live by. It's simple. A code. You have a code? People have to. Do something once, then you do it. It gets easier a bit more every time. How do you know? Because I've been in fights. I've broken plenty of bones and I was reluctant once. And you saw me back there. Killing doesn't drop the number of killers in the world. You can kill 100. You can kill 1,000. But all you do is make a more dangerous killer. Empathy, morality, mercy. All things that can be bled out of you, one drop at a time. That's horrifying. But if you're going to bring up guilty or innocent, I'll ask you one question. At what point do you consider someone innocent? And what point do you consider someone guilty? Leave. Him walking over to a metal door. And he does a slide it closed, talking about how he does need to sleep. And she does a stare on. Right now, her quite surprised and going to pull back her own cowl. Her going to breathe a little bit easier. Smelling the air in here and going to somewhat wince. It definitely does smell bad. But she does start studying everything more here. I mean, Batman. Batman has a plan for Gotham. Ideas, ways to go over everything. And then there's this entire room here. Everything here. Her giving the room a second glance. Right now, walking over and grabbing some MREs. Her going to sort through some of them and go to grab some water. Her chugging the first bottle and going to work on her second. Right now, whenever she has to crack open her third, she has to take multiple mouthfuls before finally stopping. And going to prepare some food. Right now, after eating 2 MREs, she does go to walk back over with her third being prepared. And glance around the room. There's a lot here. I mean, the lights are on, so there's a generator. She knows that much. This laptop is charged. So was the phone he gave her. But what does that mean then? Batman has power. Not just that, he has a lair. Batman has a cave. A vampire's cave? A nest? Whatever. That doesn't really matter though. Right now though, her going to look at the computer. Trying to make sure she doesn't mess anything up. She does manage to close the file. Being able to open it again, and everything is still there. Breathing a sigh of relief. Before she does attempt to look at a few things in Gotham. There are files on the computer. Some she is able to access, but a bunch of others are password protected. And this does surprise her. Right now, information popping up on a text informing the guest not to try passwords. And they are being given access to the computer for a reason. If they do attempt passwords, this computer will automatically lock them out, and he will be made aware of that. And she does go to close this pop-up, concerned about how paranoid this guy is. Then again, she just saw him fight a kaiju guy, a giant roided up bastard. And that, it is rather annoying. And we do currently have inside that locked room, Deku, he pulled off his utility belt. He stretched his shoulders and went over to a chair. Right now, sitting down in it and getting comfortable. Before he does, go to lean back and go to think. Right now, there's a lot of things going through his mind. Should he perform tests just yet? No, maybe not. Chemical analysis? Perhaps. Bane had Venom. Venom is inside the city, and that could be a major problem. If a number of people are running around on Trigger and Venom inside the city, that makes the city much worse. That makes his plans take a lot longer. And even with pro heroes helping him out, it may result in death. But, and he doesn't like this, but if he does analyze something to neutralize Venom, or even recreate it, he himself could take it. He doesn't like the option, but the increase in strength, the increase in power, it would help him out. He saw how it affected Bane, and he doesn't like to admit it, but Venom may be able to help him. Along with some Trigger, it could be better. If he does take Trigger, he'd have to worry about a high. He'd have to worry about chemical alterations to his own brain. But he would also be given the thinking power, the brain power, in order to recognize these patterns and hopefully fight against them. Let his willpower prevail. Let his own mind be what does drive back that high. He can fight through pain. He can fight through blood loss, delirium. He should be able to fight through a mild high. Then again, Venom does have less consequences. It may be more physically demanding on him, but psychologically, that could be a risk he can take. Then again, maybe not. He'll plan things out, think about it a bit more. Right now, he'll just sleep on it and think about this in the morning. Though, so far his guest hasn't done much. Him going to stare straight ahead at a computer screen, where his guest, they have already removed their cowl. First mistake. Then again, a partner. A sidekick. He's never thought about having one as Batman. He can definitely see the appeal that pro heroes might have, but he doesn't like it. This world is only big enough for him. Pulling more people into this, especially for this crusade of his, could be bad. But Gotham is already bad. When this is all over, they should have a chat. And she will have to hang up his symbol. But they need all the help they can get. It's all hands on deck. And with that, Batman does close his eyes, falling asleep in place. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.